Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Hades 2, and last time we finished our highest ever fear run, and in doing so, completed the next tier of the Knights Champion. Now, granted, that's only the second out of 3 possible Knights Champion tiers, but I have basically no interest at all in that final tier, so we're gonna leave it at that for now, and probably means, for that reason, and because we don't really need any more Nightmare, probably don't really need to engage in the fear mechanic at all at this point, and for what it's worth, I think there is a very reasonable chance that this will end up being our last Hades 2 video, because we have now finished the new true ending, and as of our most recent run, also done the 2 transition runs that have you go from that new ending into the end game. So there's not a lot of additional things for us to do here other than the various side quests that we had been working toward before we initiated the new true ending process, and there's 1 or 2 of those that we might be able to check off on this run here, but I don't know that we're gonna have time to do all of them, given how long it took for us to do all of those things building up toward the new true ending. That's kind of what I was getting at when I was saying how, yeah, I have some time constraints coming up, and the new true ending taking 12 times or more longer than I expected. That's the result of that. So I don't know that we're going to be able to do this. Very likely will not. Would have loved to have gotten the chance to, and we can maybe check off 1 more of these things to help free the fates, but I don't think we can get them all done in 1 run. I highly doubt that. But Awakening Hypnos we may be able to do at the end of this run. Theoretically, I think we even had the means to do it at the end of our previous run. Those are the big things. Maybe Arachne's side quest as well. I just wanted to double check. I thought there was an achievement for maxing out all of our Arcana cards, and I realized that we don't have that achievement. But I thought that we had maxed out every Arcana card. No, we forgot about you. All right then. That can be addressed. There we go. We'll check off that achievement. Not that we're likely to use Origination right here, right now, but now we are actually done with all of our Arcana cards. And if this is to be our final Hades 2 run, now there's a small chance I'll be able to squeeze in 1 more after this, but I was thinking it would make sense for us to go back to the, I guess maybe not the absolute beginning when we would be forced to use the staff, but rather focus on what was, at least initially, my favorite weapon and weapon aspect, that being the aspect of Malunui on the blades for the big time backstab damage. So maybe recreate what once upon a time was our go-to build, and that was an attack-oriented setup with this weapon, and maybe we do lead with the gold purse as we, I would say, middle of our progression. That was our go-to. In the very early stages, we would often start with the silken sash, but those days have long come and gone. So I think maybe we'll go gold purse, and then what we would like to do is use Aphrodite for the attack and Demeter for the special and or cast to freeze enemies, making it easier for us to use our close range Aphrodite attack for big time damage. So technically that means that we probably will not be able to use either of these guys and may in fact want to switch around our Arcana sets. Yeah, this actually is, I think, what we had often used. We have a little bit of rerolls with the champions. Okay, so let's go with this. This is for a while what we had been using for Arcana. Probably still the set that we had used more than any other, even if it hasn't been the go-to as of late. Then weapon aspect, as I said, we'll stick with the aspect of Malunui on the blades. Then for the familiar, we could take Gali, who I think we probably used more than any other familiar, and in many ways I'd probably say is my favorite familiar. Tula might be the one that we've used the second most often, just because it took a while to unlock Gali, so in early access there was a lot of Tula. But we could go all the way back to Freno, so we do not use very often anymore. So maybe we break him out. Although, I do feel like he's maybe one of, if not, at least in my opinion, the least powerful of the minions. But why don't we spice it up just a little bit, because we do have the Nightmare to spare, to get the Nightmarish form.
Show me your dark side.
That does look pretty cool. Not gonna lie. So, sure. We'll take you, and especially given how, as I was saying, I don't think we're gonna use any fear on this run. I think we'll go down. Technically, this is the bonus bones weapon. Or no, it's not the bonus bones weapon, but if we were to do fear, then yeah, we'd want to go down to get Hecate on 12. I mean, it's doable, but kind of just want to take it easy on this one and go for the nostalgia. So, I think the only thing we want to go out of our way to do would be make sure we see Arachne, if possible. Other than that, I'll just make sure that we have as much nectar as we possibly can have. I think we still have a decent amount, even after we spent it, passed it out pretty generously on our previous run.
What do I need?
Okay, and we have already purchased it there, so, alright. How much do we have out of curiosity? We still have 5. We may even get a little bit more on this run. So, okay. I think we are good to go. And again, there's a chance this may not be our very last run, but it could be. So I just want to get you to get that on your radar and make that not be a big surprise. So let's jump in and see. Oh, starting off with a hammer. Okay, you love to see it. I'd like to see something attack-oriented, ideally. We've never used this, though. I mean, yes, we could take some things for prophecy completion purposes, although I feel like that's maybe not really all that meaningful at this stage, if in fact this is to be our last run. Charge attack, I do very much like to use it on this aspect so we can get the backstab damage bonus. Charge attack deals way more damage in a wider area, but it uses more magic. I think we can find a way to still make that work.
Keenest blades of all.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's pretty strong. That's pretty good. Okay, and speaking of nectars and potentially picking up more on the run itself, we can get one right here. It'd be nice if we already had an upgradable boon so that it could get hit by this, but we don't. It's one downside to having the hammer show up in the very first room. That's a large enough area of effect. It can take out multiple enemies, which is pretty nice, because that was usually the weakness of this weapon aspect, was we had the raw damage. It's fast attacks. If you don't get the backstab, yeah, the damage is a little low per hit, but if you do get the backstab, the damage is big, and the charge-up attacks, that's where those really come in handy. Getting a good attack boon, obviously, is a very big deal, but typically, the area of effect being as small as it is, that meant that we weren't able to hit that many enemies at once, and then, because we also have to be right on top of the enemies, finding a way to get into melee range more safely was always very useful as well, and that's why Demeter was typically such a big deal. So we'll do this. Unfortunately, no upgrades there. There actually is a case to be made for taking the magic, since, as we can now see, we just used all of our magic in that room, but I'm hoping we just can pick up a good magic restoration boon, and that will do the trick for us. And I also probably did not need to use the charge attack as much as I did in that previous room. I was just excited about hammer upgrade we got. It's good. Please don't do that. Please don't do that either. Thank you.
Enough.
Okay. So, perfect. Perfect. This is what we want to see. We want Aphrodite Precedent. Ideally, it would be the attack boon. And if it's low rarity, if it's common rarity, we can use Narcissus, his keepsake, to bump it up. Otherwise, I mean, obviously we don't have the calling card available to us, nor do we have the Jeweled Palm, which are luxuries that we maybe got a little accustomed to. Oh, that was a bad place to stand. We might have gotten a little spoiled, since we've had those for a long time now, giving us solid damage even on boons that were common rarity. Let's see here.
You really did it, gorgeous. That ugly monster's finally gone. I never could tell if he even had a heart, as there was not a trace of love in him at all. Only the worst intentions and desires. So much for those.
Alright. Looking for the attack. We get it. It's rare rarity. It is an awkward rarity for that reason, because we can't verify it with a Narcissus, but it's only marginally better than common rarity. So if we really wanted to, we could deliberately take something else instead. We at least have Aphrodite Precedent, so she should show up later on. I forgot, we have the rerolls now. We may not have the Jeweled Palm, we may not have the calling card in the future, as we would often do on runs, but we could get rerolls, which has been a long time since we've been able to use those. So maybe we do take you then, and then if we get Aphrodite showing up later on, as we would expect to happen, then we can re-roll until we get this. Or take... I mean, I'd rather not have to take the Aphrodite keepsake, because that does... Ooh, that's very nice. Let's nab it. We also... Oh, right, we have extra gold because we took this on the first floor. Okay, that has also been a long time since we've done that. I might actually go with this room for slightly more magic. Nah, we'll go slightly more light. Ah, the hunt is on. Okay.
Artemis.
Too slow, Artemis. Still too slow. Afraid you just must be faster than that. Haha! She didn't get anything.
Hail, sister.
Sometimes she makes a snarky comment, if that happens. So yeah, I think we're hoping to see Aphrodite show up later on. We'll reroll if we have to get the attack boon, and then we might have the ability to rarefy, depending on how exactly it plays out, although we have less ability to do that without the calling card.
You've tried all my latest boons by now.
Oh?
I've got others I've been mulling, although lately nothing seems to stick. Likely you'd rather have something tried and true anyway.
It's an interesting way to describe that, because I haven't really had other gods and goddesses who give us boons describe the way in which those boons help us directly, or at least differentiate between, oh, you know, sometimes I'm providing these types of boons, other times these types of boons. And the thought that goes into that process, that just was never a thing before.
From you, sister, I'll take whatever I can get. A bit of extra precision in my strikes often makes all the difference.
I'm not just all about precision here, am I? We gods get cast as one thing, and that's it. Father Zeus and his thunder, Uncle Poseidon and his water, Apollo and his... hair.
Not sure that's the first thing I would think of for Apollo. In fact, I would be kind of curious to hear in the mythology if that is in fact a thing that is notable about Apollo. I don't remember that being the case. I more so remember that he's god of just everything. So maybe he'd be a difficult person to pick any one thing about. He's also Artemis's brother, so might be a little bit of jealousy there. But also, maybe I should have thought of this way before, but I never necessarily aligned Artemis being goddess of the hunt with precision, and that being the reason why she gives crit-oriented boons. I mean, obviously there are some people like Poseidon giving water boons, and Zeus giving thunder boons. That makes sense, given what they are gods of, but it's just a little more of an abstraction for Artemis. And that is the case in Hades 1 as well. She does exist in Hades 1 and gives crit-based boons in that too. So they've been consistent, Supergiant, in that regard, but I just never really put two and two together there. Okay. Any damage may be critical, 5%. Foes in your cast may take critical damage from your attacks. Now that is good, because we would like to ideally do this exact combo. Have Demeter on the cast to freeze and then follow up with the attack. If we do that, then this is obviously twice the crit chance that we'd get from this, although this would apply to any and everything, not just the attack. And we don't know if we're going to get Demeter at all, and even if we do, are we going to get her cast or not? So otherwise, after your dash, your charge moves may deal critical damage for 2 seconds. That number is even higher still. So if we make a point of doing the charge attack after dashing, that is the best way to do it. But given how we kind of want to lead with the cast, I feel like that's going to get a little clunky. This is the most straightforward option for sure. It is obviously also the highest rarity. I guess we'll do this.
Very well.
Hopefully it ends up working out. Speaking of which, this definitely worked out. Oh, and I forgot we have you, and that explains why we were doing crazy damage in this area. Okay. Which mini-boss is it? It's this guy. Please, yeah. Please allow me to hit you with a critical hit after dashing, so that I can basically annihilate you. I don't have enough magic anymore, in large part because I whiffed on several occasions. That's annoying. And it was going to be the quickest fight ever against this guy, the easiest fight ever against this guy. Not quite, after all, but still not too bad. I do think he's probably the most difficult of the mini-bosses on this floor, or at least he's the newest, so I do have the least practice with him.
Surely you would not admit to this, but your father has been through quite an ordeal. Worse perhaps than any of us. But he and your mother have weathered difficult times before, and each time they have grown from it.
Is that supposed to be a pun, Demeter? Okay, this is exactly what we're looking for. We are absolutely taking this. Absolutely taking this. Yes. Okay, so that's ideal. That's what we want on the cast. Now we do very much want to see the Aphrodite attack boon. But it's good that we... Oh, hello. It is good that we got... Ow. The Demeter boon, at least, without needing to activate her keepsake or anything like that. Because it just means it's one fewer keepsake that we would potentially need to get. To use on the run, so we have more flexibility. Okay, so this would be a mid-floor shop. Given how we did take you, it can be a little more aggressive. We've spent 10 gold on a mini shop. I think we'll be okay spending a little bit more here.
Hail, boatman.
Okay, granted, not thrilled about the options here. These feel pretty lackluster. I think definitely skipping. Yes, technically useful in the short term, especially until we get a magic restoration boon. And obviously first choice would have been Aphrodite, but adding Hera to the equation wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Magic restoration might be our highest priority from her.
Olympus, I accept this message.
Her magic restoration boon is pretty decent. Don't want to take her attack though. It is pretty solid from a damage standpoint, and it does functionally give extra area of effect, which, as I was saying, kind of accounts for one of the weaknesses of this weapon. But I think we'll go for this. It's not a ton of damage yet, but long term it can definitely add up. And it's not common rarity, which means we still have the option of getting a common rarity Aphrodite attack and using the Narcissus Keepsake to rarefy that. And I think we'll probably go... Well... This can't get leveled, nor can this, I don't think. That means we would be guaranteed to have the option to choose between these two, neither of which we care that much about the level on, to be honest, because this is mostly just here for the utility from the freeze, not really the damage. And then, kind of similar story here. So, might actually prefer this, to be honest with you. If we had an attack boon, then yes, this would suddenly become much more meaningful, but let's go here instead.
More whispers.
Right, actually freeze them, which is huge. It's just so much easier now, except he says that right as he walks straight into the enemy who is blasting him with a melee. Okay, you know, forget what I said. I said nothing.
Some silver.
Oh, I forgot, we also used to almost always take the Moonbeam, Seleni's keepsake, and given how much magic we would ideally like to use on this run, I think that's a pretty solid option to get Selene here. And again, yes, Palm, if we had the boons we wanted to upgrade would be meaningful, but we kinda don't, so all the more reason to go here instead. Okay, maybe it was not a smart idea to make all the enemies mad at me and have them take notice of me before killing anyone. That basically just made every enemy in the room chase after me.
All quiet.
But I think this is a bit of a reminder that although this was my favorite approach to take with this weapon aspect, it was not without its flaws. We did very often find ourselves taking a lot of damage on these runs. I'd like to believe that we've become a better Hades 2 player in the meantime, but I am also just getting a little bit sloppy as well.
I draw you down, O Moon.
Maybe
Lend
because
me
it's
your light.
zero here and I'm
Your
not sweating too hard about
headmistress
that
revealed more
for that
to me
reason.
about your current charge, ensuring that our time flows freely forward from here on. I understand this newer task may have no end in sight, so bid you pace yourself accordingly.
All right. Well, thank you, Selene. Let's see. This is the Zeus duo. This is the Hera duo. This is the Demeter duo. I think... I would usually take Nightbloom here. We have found runs where if you upgrade this a lot, it carries you completely. And it's been a long time since we've done that. Although it was probably the boon that we took more than... or the hex that we took more than any other for a while. We haven't seen Selene nearly as much. We've deprioritized her as of late. So, my hesitation is just... The minion that we summon is gonna then do all the work for us, which means we're not really gonna be able to benefit from the whole weapon aspect and whatnot, because we are suddenly the side character. So, even though I don't like it as much, I think I might go with this. Oh wait, no, this is... I thought this was the freeze one from Demeter. No, this is... or the slow one from Demeter. No, this is the Impervious Nightmare. That's actually the Aphrodite duo, which we've taken a couple times. I'm not a very big fan of it. So, I mean, we could always just not use it sometimes. So, I'll take it. It's really strong, especially if we do level it up a bunch. But there's a chance that won't end up happening, and there's also a chance that we just deliberately pulled out of it. It's areas like this where, yes, it would be nice to just charge straight in. I guess we can do this instead. That's probably exponentially safer. Ready? This is not that strong yet, because obviously we haven't leveled it up at all. But there we go.
Always use more.
We did this. Oh, okay. Apparently I should have kept the hex, because I did not notice this.
By my father's name.
Get him! Don't run away! Just face tank that, it's fine. Okay, still got a decent bit from that. And now here, this I imagine is about to be the penultimate room. It is. So we can go here, get a free Ares boon, which is good value. It's just, it adds one more god/goddess to the equation. And obviously we'd like that at some point, but it dilutes the boon-giving god or goddess pool a little bit more, making it theoretically a little less likely for us to see Aphrodite again. So I'd kind of like to deliberately postpone that a little bit longer if we can. And we don't know what's gonna show up in this shop. It might just be a different boon-giving god or goddess who is also new to us on this run, in which case, alright, we're just paying more than we would have by going in the other room. But there's a chance we get Aphrodite. There's a chance we get other stuff that is more useful. It's the special haired god. So I'd rather not get his attack boon is good. We also haven't seen much of Apollo as of late, for whatever reason, it seems like.
Olympus, I accept this message.
So I am going to pass on this, even if it is nice for the area of effect reasons, and the damage can get quite big, actually. Obviously, it's pretty low here because it's a common rarity, but whenever cast, expire, restore magic, cast, expand in size until they expire. Let's do this, just because it gives us even more freeze utility on our cast.
The light of the sun.
Don't really need you. Will practically be on full life once we walk through there. Let's do this.
Freenos,
Oh, right.
do your
It's automatic now. With Freenos.
Appreciate the help.
Haven't gotten that very often. as of late. But okay. Yeah, once again, we could benefit from this, but I would like to believe probably the Aphrodite Magic Restoration or the Hera Magic Restoration would be the best for us. Demeter wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Apollos is the one that we just saw that gives you magic back when your cast expires, which actually might not be the worst thing since we are planning to use the cast a lot, but the timing is a little bit awkward at times.
I didn't mean to keep you waiting long, Headmistress. Or do you always arrive at just the right instant?
You say that as if we didn't go down on our previous run, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, we absolutely did.
A bit of solitude here hardly is a waste of time. I never merely wait. I've more matters to attend to in these woods besides. But first...
Alright.
Now, cross blades.
Oh, that was not behind you, apparently.
Behold Selene's
Oh.
light. Night bloom.
Hello. Everyone? Yes. Don't turn around right as I'm starting to attack you to prevent me from backstabbing you. Oh, was that the real one? Actually, it might have been. It was. Of course, we did fight. Oh, we do also have X, which I guess we could use here again. It's not power up, so it was a very bad time to use it. Well, I guess this would be also a way to kill an enemy while we are in pig form. It was previously something that we were... There's an achievement for it. We're wondering what the best way to get that achievement might be. I don't know if we really had thought of that approach. Oop, I was trying to charge it up for a while there. No, don't run away right as I'm about to take you out. There we go.
Return to shadow now.
Okay.
Some cinder.
Nab that. And I think we are on our way.
Out of the woods.
Ah, he is here now. Can we gift to him? Because he, I believe... Yes, we can. I believe he's the only person who we have not gotten the keepsake from, and there is an achievement for that, and of course we have no idea what his keepsake does. It was hard to do this last time.
Father, the wounds our family has suffered perhaps shall never truly heal, but you've at least tried to take some of the initial steps. So here, this is for you.
There were not many opportunities to gift to him. He doesn't take too kindly, doesn't exactly accept those types of offerings when you are still in the midst of fighting him in the build-up to either the original or the new true ending.
Oh, what a precious bottle. Thank you, granddaughter. Nectar from Olympus. But it does look rather good. The custom still is to provide some sort of gift in kind, is that not so? Then yeah, if you please.
There
What's
we
an
go.
unusual device?
The
Made
timepiece.
of gold.
It's a watch.
Thank you.
That makes sense. Or a sundial watch makes sense. Coming from the Titan of Time. And we did get the achievement for doing that. Now for the actual conversation.
Grandfather, Nemesis mentioned that she may have encountered you in Tartarus. How did that go?
She mentioned that she defeated you on her first attempt, which I kinda doubt it.
Oh, very well indeed. I had presumed that only you would have capacity to face unwanted traces of myself, but as it happens, so can Nemesis, and she is very strong.
Even if it takes her a bazillion attempts to get there, on her first attempt she defeats you. That just didn't add up for me.
So she was serious. She confronted one of those traces with your aid and was able to prevail. What, did she hack him to bits with a Stygian blade?
Well, I prefer not to describe the details, but she used effective means. This must be possible only because she was so near your path before.
Oh, okay. So she was benefiting from what we had done. Okay, then. It's not as if she was doing it all by herself, even if that's what she would have liked for us to have believed.
She truly did it.
Yeah, that's still... As I think I said when we first heard that from Nemesis, I don't like that. In part because it seems unrealistic that after making a bunch of attempts to get to Kronos, she would win on her very first attempt, whereas that is likely not going to be the case for Malui. So from a basic standpoint, there's that. But also, the fact that because she's able to do that, that kind of detracts from Malui's skill and ability. It doesn't reflect well on Malui. Like, if anyone else can just waltz on in and defeat Kronos on their first try, then that kind of suggests that Malui is weak and not great at doing all the things that the protagonist is supposed to be doing. So I feel like that sends the wrong message. So even if there was just one time when Nemesis said she made it to the fight but got absolutely clobbered by Kronos, I mean, that feels like what I would have expected to happen, not just because she had only just encountered Kronos for the first time, but also because she's very full of herself, and you would think that her big ego would get in the way of her actually being able to strategize effectively for that fight, and, you know, she wouldn't be able to reflect upon her mistakes and make all the necessary improvements to get to a point where she could actually defeat him. So, for a bunch of reasons, that just doesn't really make much sense to me. Okay, but before we do that, let's just double check. Okay, no Narcissus keepsake, so yes, we can heal here. And now
Keepsakes.
we can take a peek at what the new keepsake is, the timepiece. We can't take it. And I see the words Fate's Whim, so yes, that is why we can't take it now. While at the Fate's Whim, obviously that means this is the third Fate's Whim keepsake, you can purge most rewards for gold up to 2 times this night. Huh. We know what Fate's Swim means. We know what gold is. We can't use it because we've already done re-rolling stuff on this run, but the thing that I am unclear about is, when you say you can purge most rewards, what does that include and what does that not include? Like, the obvious thing would be boons. I assume you could basically instantly sell a boon up to 2 times, and as you level this up, that presumably goes up to 3 with the next upgrade, and probably 4 once it reaches max rank. So, you can sell boons, I would think. Can you sell other things that are in that same category of reward, which would mean max life upgrades from the Centaur Hearts, and also the max magic upgrades? Can you sell those things as well? And then of the other category, the more crafting reward things, can you sell stuff like the ashes, once upon a time Psyche in the early access. Yes, there used to be Psyche rooms, they don't exist anymore, but now bones, nectar, because those things generally are less desirable, less powerful. So I could see a world in which those are not sellable, or if they are immediately sellable with the timepiece, then they just aren't worth as much. So kind of curious how that works mechanically. But alas, we cannot try it here and now, although if we do get to do another run, maybe we can squeeze that in. As for on this run, though, don't have reason to use you yet, but we could throw on you. We could throw this on, even though we do already have Aphrodite present. What this does is it allows us to rarify her boons, so that makes it easier to get the right rarity on the attack boon. Otherwise, yeah. Otherwise, it probably would be Moonbeam. But we could do Moonbeam on the 3rd floor. Yeah, you know what? I think we could do this. I think we can. And then here, we're fine passing on that stuff. So yeah, basically, the Kronos keepsake is almost like immediately doing this, I would think. I mean, we could sell definitely not selling you. We could sell that, although we haven't really paid that much attention to it. That's a pretty big size increase as the cast carries on. Meaning more enemies getting frozen, and that's the whole idea behind it. So that works. Maybe it is worth holding on to. So, like, this would typically be a room that I would say, well, this is one of the worst rewards you can get, at least when it comes to things that benefit you directly in the current run. Obviously, once you get back to the crossroads, this helps you, whereas boons do not. But if you're, for example, oh, this is a good time for chaos. If, for example, you're doing a high fear run and you're concerned about whether or not you're going to be able to complete that run, you want to do any and everything you can to make the run stronger, then almost anything is going to be stronger than what we get. Ooh, you're still here. It's over. Go. Does anyone get that reference? I probably didn't quite do it perfectly, but... Oh. That hurts. That hurts. Technically, this makes Aphrodite showing up more likely. Does that only count for one room, though? By skipping Aphrodite here, are we kind of risking that we're gonna brick the keepsake? Oh, man. Yeah, I'm gonna do it, but this might be the wrong decision. Yeah, that was a Ferris Bueller reference for anyone who is unfamiliar.
I merely borrow this.
And then I got sidetracked. We were probably talking about something else. I completely forget what it was. That's alright. I think given how... I think we'll save some of our nectar for people who we think may be involved in the Fates prophecy, and I don't believe that Chaos is, or if so, then I think we've already reached the threshold for Chaos. I think it's Hecate, it's Moros, we think Heracles, although we're not 100% sure about that one. That might be it. There might be one more person beyond that. And if so, I don't remember.
I have heard further inquiry concerning what transpired in your father's house. Kronos conceded in his war, you said. Yet you continue fighting battles as before. Why is that so? Respond.
Almighty chaos. Kronos can explain it far better than I. But time is like a river seeking to flow freely forth. Yet it can be obstructed and change course disastrously. Essentially, I'm having to retrace some of my steps to prevent that.
So, I was saying that line a whole bunch in the previous video, and probably the video or two before that as well. And I was saying how it became just a non-stop thing that people would talk about. And for those who, for whatever reason, may not have seen the original true ending, you might have been thinking, nah, Lids, surely you're exaggerating, right? No, we've heard it probably at least 4 times already on this run. By Malinui and others, I think.
As one who dwells in possibility, I understand. Preventing infinite possibilities, however remote they may be, shall take some time. But Kronos must be well aware of that. I shall look forward to the outcome of this new endeavor.
So, it's basically the whole theme, the whole reason behind us continuing to do runs after the true ending. I mean, it sort of has a ring to it, but it gets repeated so often that it becomes old pretty quickly. So I'm not the biggest fan of it. For that reason, I guess, if nothing else. Okay, for next 4 encounters, each time we use a charge move, we take a large chunk of damage. Afterward, though, our boons have a significant rarity improvement. Next 2 encounters... We haven't taken this before, to be honest. I think this does finish a Chaos Prophecy for us. It's really nasty. I mean, that is going to kill us if we take 500 damage. I think we have wondered if that's like instant game over, or if that triggers only triggers 1 Death Defiance. Like, does it trigger all 3 of our Death Defiances in one go? Because we are typically not speedrunning very much. Afterward, we heal 11 per room. I mean, the upside is definitely nowhere near as good as this one is. This one is also higher rarity. This does mean we can't do charge attacks, which is unfortunate, but there is a workaround for that. This is definitely the easiest, and even the max magic is not bad. Okay, I'm gonna do it though, and that means we have to be lightning fast. Oh, this isn't an encounter. So what, I don't know how, this might have been the wrong move.
Look at me when I'm talking to you, you louse. All right, you can't. Must be so sick of staring at yourself by now.
I did not expect this at all. But as I was starting to say, we need to finish 2 encounters in 2 minutes. And this room does not count as an encounter because there are no enemies in it. So I don't know if the timer is still running in this room. It shouldn't be going during these conversations. It also shouldn't be going when the game is paused or when we're selecting boons. But we may have kind of put ourselves in a tricky situation by going to this room first, if in fact the timer is still running, at least when we're walking through here.
The only thing I'm sick of, I forget your name, is you tramping about, disturbing my peace. If you don't have anything nice to say, why don't you go?
Honestly, I'm with you on that one, Narcissus.
Still indignant after all this time. As you learn to show respect, you might not be stuck forever in the company of a buffoon. Well, drink it in.
Was Nemesis in part behind the whole... Was it technically a curse that plagued Narcissus? The whole plot line between Narcissus and Echo. Was it Nemesis who was kind of behind that? Okay, now we have to go fast. And probably shouldn't have even done this.
Ooh, are you all
in that
right?
case.
Nemesis can be rather terse. She didn't hurt you or anything, did she?
She said something just there about how I'm stuck forever in the company of a buffoon. She couldn't have meant... No way. She's jealous. She likes me and playing hard to get. Unlike some people who come on a little strong.
Okay. Oh, we apparently have not taken this? I didn't even realize we had a potential prophecy to be completed from this. I guess we'll take it, sure. Prophecy fulfilled. Alright, and now we run.
Thanks.
And we have to clear this room for sure, extremely quickly. So I'm just spamming the attack button as quickly as possible. More or less. Okay. Now we need to go. Oh, it's a mini boss. Okay. I don't think this is a good thing. I think it's a bad thing. I also am really trying to hit him, not all the guys that he summons. It did allow me to summon
Not a chance.
some of your friends, though, and obviously I'm taking a whole bunch of damage by doing this and completely ignoring that you're gonna hurt me a lot.
In the name of Hades.
Okay. We really, really want the attack to show up here for a number of reasons, and the timer's not running now. So, we'd like to reroll, and we would like to rarefy the attack if it shows up. So we right trigger reroll.
Sure, why not?
This would also be really good. This is not the type of attack boom we're looking for, although it would be nice, and this is one of the reasons why I've said several times before, once upon a time this was one of our top priority boons to pick up. But it's not you that we're looking for, it's you. So we're taking you and we're rarefying you.
My pleasure.
Okay. And I just want to confirm, have we now completed 2 encounters? Yes, we have. Okay, so we did successfully complete the Chaos Curse. It has evolved. We don't need to worry about clearing out rooms quickly anymore. We did take a lot of damage because I was just rushing straight into every enemy and just doing this when probably using the charge attack was smarter. But there is a fear factor to that puts a time limit on you, but I've deliberately not used it, although I think it is potentially one of the easier ones to use if you are used to it. I just kind of always assumed that we are not going to be able to be quick enough for it. So I'm out of practice with that, or don't have any practice with that. Now at least, though, we get 16 healing between each room, unless this happens. I'm actually surprised this still happens. Lore-wise, this feels kind of strange.
To the verdant meadows of Asphodel.
That's maybe not
This still can happen.
how I would describe this area. That's what I was just thinking.
Headmistress taught me well.
Why do you so wish to
Oh, I can just start attacking Freenos? I'm sorry, Freenos. These guys are really nasty. Glad we can get rid of them immediately. Just freeze you. Oh. Nope, nope, nope. Not a fan of that. Nope, don't do that. I know that the timer's going in the wrong direction, but... Oh, would have been nice to have summoned the other type of dude. That's okay. Basically done. Oh, what?
Such nightmares.
Excuse me. I was well after the timer. Like, I was looking at the timer and thinking, oh, maybe those things won't... Okay, I'm also in the process of dashing out of that. That's really annoying.
Too hot for you?
I was looking at the timer and thinking, oh, that might not make all the projectiles disappear immediately. And so I waited for an extra second, and they still didn't disappear. The other thing that I'm now remembering about this weapon aspect that was maybe a weakness of it that I didn't like to admit happened very often was that even though the base attack is very fast, if you truly just mindlessly spam this, then you will at times get caught in the combo and you're trying to cancel out with a dash. And depending on where you are in that combo, it can actually forcibly make you do the last component of the combo, slowing you down and forcing you to get hit, which I think is what ended up causing us to take some damage in the previous room, or in the end of that encounter. Okay, is this the penultimate room? It actually might be. In which case, I mean, these are both free. This is obviously a shop where we can spend. We do have a lot of money still. We get something else beyond just the gold purse for the monies? Or is this really how much money we always had on our previous runs and I just got used to not having this much? I do still like Hermes early. So I think I will still prioritize him, especially because we do now have this plus this, and that's a combo that I was hoping we'd be able to get. Yes, okay, this is the penultimate room. It's just the Hermes boon and nothing else.
Your mother too. I'm really glad they're safe and sound together, Em. You've got to make up for lost time with them, and you'll be able to from here on out.
Okay, thank you, Hermes. Let's see. Because Quick Buck is good the earlier you get it. Likewise with Nitro Boost. Success rate. What do we have that is affected by that? I hate that all these are common rarity, because these all can be really good. Oh, the crit from this. Okay, I don't think that's reason enough to do this. Thinking it's one of you guys, and I think given how we are very close range with this setup, we'd probably like to take you, and that could be a Narcissus keepsake target, to be honest with you. It's our only common rarity boon, and it benefits a ton from the levels because it gives us a lot more blocks per encounter. And yes, this would still be early enough that it's quite impactful, but as I was saying before, we are already at 755 gold, and we passed on a gold spending opportunity here, so I think we're probably gonna be fine in that regard. Okay, now for Skilla. We will not be on full health when we get there, not anywhere near it, although we do still get a sizable chunk of healing from that Chaos boon.
Ready, girls? Stop! Don't say anything, lady. It's impolite to talk during the show in case you hadn't noticed. I'm through listening to you anyway, but definitely not the other way around.
I still think that Skilla is maybe the best character in Hades 2. The writing for her is on a different level. Kind of hard to backstab Skilla, I'm realizing. Ooh, okay. I feel like unintentionally I just imitated the sound effect that the Kitaris does with her dash ability. It was not the intention, I swear. That sound effect is mistakenly what I just recreated, basically. I should probably try to save at least a little bit of the magic for the end. This is my favorite of her songs as well. That was bad. Resistance. Get her, Freenos! You know, that, for example, good example of the phenomenon I was describing earlier, where, yes, we do still dodge, but it's only after doing the full combo, or you do it, the last component turns into a dash strike, which does still involve a dash, but it is not as quick and doesn't go as far as a normal dash. Oh, that hit me? Oh, we can summon one of them as well. Oh, the guitarist also... I could have noticed this before, but generally been a little distracted by this fight. Because the guitarist was the featured artist, she was, her component, the guitar of the song, was louder. It sounded good. She was about to try to dash at me. Oh, I did want the drummer, but then since we haven't... What's wrong with you, Jenny? Since we hadn't upgraded the dash, other resistance, it meant that she's not going to last very long. She only lasts for like 6 seconds or something like that. I didn't want to use it too early. Oh, but we can do it again, though, which is hilarious. Okay, I'm going to wait for her. You actually phase? Or no, you're just doing this. Okay. Now you phase. Now we do this, especially before all the fish come out and become the target who we have killed most recently instead. Come on, Jenny. Focus on Skilla, please. Jenny, you slacker!
Keep practicing.
Hey. Alright. Very nice. Quick check. Don't think I see anything else in here. And certainly by the time we heal here, we'll be on full life, although we were thinking this could potentially be the floor where we take the moonbeam to upgrade the hex more, although, as I was saying, yes, the hex can be incredibly powerful if you level this one up a lot, but I feel like that's going to take away a bit from the feel of using the aspect of Lunui, which I'd like to be more of the focal point, given how, as I said, that was, for a long time, our favorite setup. So let's prioritize that instead, and let's, I think, go for Narcissus Keepsake, and in doing so, that means we'll upgrade you, so we get a bunch more blocks per encounter. Right now, it's just 1. We had more in the previous fight because we get some from our Arcana cards against bosses. But it would not be the case for normal encounters, but if we do this, it goes from 1 up to 4. So 3 additional blocks per encounter, which with this weapon aspect I think is a particularly big deal. Just gives us the defense that we would otherwise be lacking. And then I think we're fine here. Yeah, we still have a decent bit of money. But obviously, we're getting far enough along now that could start thinking about the super shop and making sure we still have enough money to get aggressive there. But, that's still far enough away. Don't need to be too concerned about that. Okay, we do see Selene, so we can at least upgrade a bit. Okay. So, hello, friends. Okay, I lied. We are not friends. In fact, some might even go as far as to say that we are mortal enemies. Hello, sir. Please don't do that.
Flourish.
Ooh, mini Selene as well. It's a nice little bonus. That could actually be an important difference maker. Getting to some of the key thresholds. Now, this is only going to be worth 1 point here.
The path you face.
Oh, no, 2 points? Okay. I think the main Selene upgrade is worth 3, which means we will be able to get to the Hera duo. And along the way, they last indefinitely. That's a great combo there. So at least we have a sustainable minion. Not necessarily as strong as it could possibly be. I mean, this does make them stronger. But what do we get along the way? 10 damage. Get extra damage after we do it. There are some of the other blue options that are more pure damage. Yeah, but I think we'll go life first. Don't think we're gonna see Echo in the next room. I meant for that to be a cast, but I think it was still on the ground in the other location, so nothing happened when I pressed the cast button, and then suddenly the enemies noticed I was there, and I was just standing there doing a whole lot of nothing. So yeah, I'll do Selene second just in case. But I don't think it's going to matter on this occasion. Thank you for walking into the cast such that I did not need to recast. Please stop running away.
Clear.
Already a little above 200 life. Wow. It's not bad. None of that, sir. Ooh. Guess I can do this. I don't remember who I got most recently. I was one of those guys who was also just running back and forth doing a whole lot of nothing. Thanks, man. Really appreciate that. Making big contributions to the team. Okay, so now we can get the duo here. We get the... Oh, well, first... Starts 40% charge. That's not a huge deal with this one. It usually is defeating the first enemy that is the key barrier. They last indefinitely. That's nice, rather than having a 12-second duration. And now this makes them faster and have crit chance. Sizable crit chance. And then if we can, later on, we could give them a revenge boon... Or we can make them relocate with our cast, which, if we saw them doing what that previous minion was doing, yeah, that can be helpful. But the ones over here, they tank some damage for us, or they deal way more damage the first time they attack. That's for the future, and we may not even necessarily end up going that far. Okay, so let's see. Mini-boss. Ooh, for either of these two. And we already have the key boons we were looking for from them. Yeah, getting the special from maybe Demeter would be nice. Although I think it's the magic restoration, actually, that would be most impactful here. So... Demeter's gives you magic restoration if you stand still for a second or so. Which obviously means you're vulnerable. But if you freeze every enemy, then maybe that is still doable, and it charges up almost instantly once you do that. Whereas Aphrodite's gives you magic restoration if you're standing close, which, given how we're a very close range build, that's not much of an issue, so maybe we go this route. And I feel like there might be more synergistic boons. I think both of them have some synergistic stuff that we would have benefited from. You're down. Also means we get... Oop, that's a good example of me wanting to just dash, and it turned into a dash attack, which is not as quick as I would have liked it to have been. Excuse me, sir. Madam, please don't do that. Oh, not gonna lie, I was confused for a second there. I saw two of the seemingly larger versions of this character over here, and it was not clear to me why that was the case. I thought that we had done something to summon a second one. Like, oh, it didn't like that we used our hex, so it duplicated itself. But no, that is the minion, of course. I think it was just that she was bigger than I expected. Because I summoned one of the basic ones, of course, not the mini-boss. But it was more the size of the direct mini-boss, and I summoned her in the middle near the mini-boss. I just threw myself off. Oh, okay, hold on.
Go, Freenos.
Auto-compel with Freenos, and then this.
In the name of Hades.
Let's see, magic restoration would be nice. And that is it. So yeah, I think we'll do that then. Ideally, it'd be a little bit higher than rare rarity. A little unfortunate that it is only that when this is a mini-boss encounter, but that's alright. It gives us magic restoration. That's a pretty big deal for us. And we could potentially duplicate that with Echo. Anything else in this room?
Echo.
That just felt... That was a little disrespectful. that was a bit of a low blow. The intonation. Like, I totally get what she's doing. The classic, you know, little kid walks into a large empty room and says, Echo, Echo, Echo. But, I mean, how many times have people mocked Echo in that way? Surely countless times, right? So that feels like that was kind of a low blow. I would say it was cute if Echo was doing this of her own free will, except she isn't. We just forced her to do that, which is just cruel. Okay, so we can get a copy of the Boon of Aphrodite, which is what I was just referring to. That could be quite useful. Otherwise, we get one of 3 random boons from last night. I don't remember. Oh, we had Aspect of Medea, but I don't remember which boons we had on that. I think we did have some. Well, actually, does it include the rarity and the level of those boons? Because if so, we were doing Jeweled Palm and Calling Card, so we were able to bump up the level and the rarity with those. So even if it may not be as synergistic, or technically in a vacuum, this is probably stronger, so I guess I'll do it.
You're the best. The best. The best.
Oh, and I like that. This is the other more utility boon from Demeter that I was sort of set when I started to say, there might be more other boons that we'd like to see beyond magic restoration from Aphrodite than there would be from Demeter. Then I remembered this boon. I was like, no, that's not really a fair thing to say. But we can get the best of both worlds. Get the magic restoration from Aphrodite and also get what is now starts off with a 2-second freeze duration plus 4, so 6 seconds of freeze. That is very nice. More Aphrodite. The magic is not as meaningful now that we have magic restoration. The gold, I don't know that we need that much either. We do now have boons that we benefit from leveling up, so the palm is more meaningful. Life, we're doing pretty well on that front, but obviously it's never a bad thing. And then the hammer probably has the most upside, although, I mean, Aphrodite obviously could be very nice as well. You know, I have a feeling we might be able to get an Aphrodite either legendary or duo boon from this, which is a bad reason to rely or to choose this room when, you know, we don't have much of any control over that.
Show me the way.
And the hammer is probably much more of a safe bet, but we're doing it anyway. And now that we've already seen Echo, we can just go in order of whatever seems best first, so it'll be you. Oh, wait. He was able to throw that before we froze him? I froze him instantly. Did he throw it while he was frozen? There weren't any other of those guys. It was just the guy that we froze. How on earth did he get that off? That was a little odd. Okay, so will this give us a big Aphrodite boon, the likes of which make us think, we don't need a hammer?
Olympus,
We shall see. Not really. No. Not at all. Obviously we don't know if the hammer was going to end up giving us an attack boon or attack upgrade or not. And if not, then it probably wasn't going to be that useful either, but weak effects are more potent. We do get weak from our rush, should mean that's gonna apply to most enemies. We don't have a special yet. I mean, we kind of don't intend to use the special very much, since cast, then charge, or base or charge attack is sort of our go-to. Ooh, this would actually be pretty useful, though, given how we are using a lot of magic. I think our charge attack might use exactly 40 magic. So, sure. Probably still wasn't going to be my first choice, but we'll take it nonetheless. Even the infusion would have been quite useful, too, because I think we have a decent number. Have we 5 air boons now? Aphrodite's is the one that gives you dodge chance based on the number of air boons. It's 2% per boon. This is one of the reasons why we have decent max life, because picked up a lot of those. Okay, you are annoying. Freeze you. And we can get rid of you much more quickly, easily, and safely. What if we create a smoke cloud, dude? I don't know if we've ever done that before. Okay, I'm gonna do it. What? Why did you go down? That's not who I wanted to summon. In the name of science, I wanted the smoke cloud dude. Otherwise, if it wasn't the smoke cloud dude anymore, I was gonna make sure that it was the 1,000 Punch Man. I mean, you're actually a pretty decent enemy to summon, because in general, we found the melee enemies tend to do the best. The projectile enemies sometimes have a tendency to either just hang out and do nothing. Yeah, either hang out in a corner and do nothing. I guess that is also possible for the melee enemies. Or their projectiles are so slow that they still don't hit anything. It's a lot of these on the place. Fortunately, the freeze is so long that that's not really a problem. I kind of want to wait until after we're done with this encounter to then take the armor. Yeah, it's just non-stop. Optional, yes, but armored enemies. Let's do this.
I've drawn them out.
You does not get completely frozen. Only slowed by the freeze. You are down now. These guys do get completely frozen, and that is one of the easiest encounters we ever had with that enemy. Okay, so there's the max magic. Now we take this. Make sure we actually have the armor going into the next room. Ooh. Is this the penultimate room? I think it is. And honestly, I'm a little tempted to pass on the shop to get Hermes. We did get a really nice Hermes boon at least once we upgraded this with the Narcissus Keepsake. There's at least a few more that could be also quite helpful. This, maybe we can do it, but this is tempting fate, of course. We do not have the most defensive of setups. The freeze helps a lot, don't get me wrong, especially if we can do this. Yeah, we might be fine, just from that alone. There we go. Now for you, yes, definitely. Okay, so I know this means that we're just really not spending gold, but as I was starting to say earlier, we're gonna have a lot for the super shop, I guess. Okay, because, I mean, this very well could have ended up being better than whatever we would have seen in that shop.
Hear me, on my authority.
It's a little late for quick buck, but it's still nice to have. It's even more gold when we really don't need it at this point. Dash more frequently. Range shots are slower. I mean, I don't know. This, you could argue, does basically nothing at this point when we are walking into the final floor with already 1,000 gold. Maybe we take this. It's a defensive boon. It's easy to undervalue it. I think it actually can be pretty useful, especially when things get hectic. Here is Cerberus, of course.
Miasma, have you?
Cerberus, you're not supposed to do that, you silly Billy. Cerberus, he just hangs out. Facing what? Oh, maybe. If he just hangs out facing the other direction, then we can kind of backstab him without even needing to use the charge attack, which is sort of nice. Excuse me, sir, you were facing the other direction. That's illegal. Run, you're friends, even though you're still here. That usually does not happen. At least not initially. So summon ads here. Thank you for the freeze duration. Yeah, this is where definitely seeing the difference. What? I used a resistance on that? He was completely frozen. Those enemies cannot do anything when they're frozen. Is that not the case? It's one thing for the bosses. They are good enemies to summon, though, for sure. They are big. And they can hit quite hard. I'm waiting for the turnaround. So I can actually get a backstab on them. Thank you, Cerberus.
Cerberus, you're free.
Yo.
Cleansed of his thick miasma coat, the triple-headed Cerberus finally relents.
Can't even see that because our familiar is blocking it. I saw this. I did not see anything over here. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I thought that was the exit for a second. No, that would be this.
This way.
Okay, so don't need Narcissus Keepsake anymore. Just do this immediately. And if we want to, we can throw on one of these guys for the final floor. That would be the safe and responsible thing to do. But the not as safe or responsible thing to do would be, well, almost anything else. So, it could be Moonbeam still if we really wanted to. It could be, yeah, we could throw this on if we wanted. I mean, ideally, you put it on at the previous floor, yeah, I know. But, or even do this. Don't know that we really need you, but we could use any of the god or goddess summoning keepsakes. We have not been able to use them for a long time now with all those jeweled palm runs. Let's do this.
The hammer.
Cross our fingers that it is a good one. Final slice. I think that's a bad one. Oh no. I was thinking of the one with the axe that makes everything be the animation of the final hit in a combo. It does more damage, but it's painfully slow. Whereas this one is very good. It makes that bigger and do more damage. So if we spam the basic attack, that's good. And then obviously, ideally, we're doing that. Charge attack. Okay, so we definitely don't need to sell anything. Though if we really wanted to, we could sell you. Probably not doing that much, because we don't have that many distinct gods and goddesses at this point. What is it adding up to? Oh, okay. It's 24%. I mean, that's not bad. Better than I thought. I mean, we can. Even if casts are not our primary source of damage, it's still decent, but I think we'll be okay, and we'll just go absolutely crazy on the super shop.
One last drop.
And maybe we'll see a mini shop mid-floor as well. It's possible.
Should be a clear path to the house.
Whatever it takes to ensure time flows freely from here on.
Oh! That's Hades' voice, I just realized. That's not Kronos anymore. That's an interesting touch. I mean, it kind of makes sense. I don't know if they did that after the original true ending. I don't remember if they did. Chance that's a new thing that they added. Or if so, I just never gave it much thought. That was a cool little adjustment. Speaking of which, here he is.
Mother, father.
Alongside our mother, of course. And Cerberus. One moment.
Phrenos, hypnotize. Well done, Phrenos.
I'm not sure I realized that that's him hypnotizing them? That's kind of unsettling. Alright. Sure, I feel like we should.
I know some of the nectar's going to our loyal shades, but I would like for you and Mother to enjoy this one yourselves. Whenever the occasion fits, just sometime.
The occasion for such pleasantries. Perhaps after our underworld renovations are complete, and we have taken proper stock of our resources and the shades, then finally we may accept a moment of reprieve.
Oh, stop it, Hades. Surely we can make good on Malinois's request sooner than that. You know better than anyone that the toil never ends, so the moments of reprieve have to be seized when they present themselves.
Thus speaks the Queen. Thank you for this, daughter. But you truly need not spare such thoughts on us. We have each other once again. I myself have want for nothing more.
How have you two been doing in all this? It must be quite a stressful time, having to get the house and underworld back in order.
Oh, it is somewhat less stressful than being imprisoned, fearing the worst for my family and dog, and watching the underworld become unrecognizable.
Fair enough.
It's very different in my case. In this life, one moment I was a new mother, and now I'm not. For what it's worth, you were always an adorable baby, Malinois.
Okay, I get what you're trying to say, but I feel like you kind of butchered the phrasing there. With the whole, hey, I gave birth to you, you were a young baby, and then I got frozen for who knows how long, and by the time I became unfrozen, suddenly you were a young adult. So, kind of missed out on the whole being a new mother thing, but feel like you didn't quite capture that with what you said.
You could always try and have another child, I suppose. We have nowhere near the numbers on Olympus, besides.
Oh. At first I thought you were saying that sort of sarcastically. Oh, there aren't enough Olympians yet, so surely we should add even more Olympians to the equation. It's like, yeah, you know, there are enough people fighting over power on Olympus. But no, if you mean specifically in the underworld, then I don't think you meant that sarcastically. I think that was an honest statement.
Let us not tempt the fates with such talk, wherever they may be. You and your brother are more than sufficient.
Alright, also in mythology, I think technically they do have at least one other child, although I think Zagreus, Malinois, and the one or more other children that they have, at least from what I know of, were not that well known, not that famous, and I think in some ways that is one of the reasons why Supergiant chose to make those be the main characters, because since they weren't that well known, it gave them a little bit more liberty to do whatever they wanted with those characters, rather than have to sort of fight the pre-existing expectations that people would have of, say, a Heracles or a Perseus, some more well-known characters in Greek mythology. well, more well-known children of gods and goddesses in Greek mythology, demigods in those cases. Okay, so cast is heat-seeking. Feels like, you know, we've used the Jeweled Palm a whole lot, so we've gotten a bunch of these boons for free. Some of them show up way more often than others. This one has not shown up for a long time. And this is kind of interesting because it gives us the extra damage when we get hit, and again, we're going to get hit because we have a fairly high-risk playstyle here. Although this does make it easier to land our cast, which is the first step in the process to make our combo safer to pull off. And hopefully we don't have to do any of this. So let's do this just because I think we even had this on the previous run. Let's mix it up a little bit.
Take care of yourself.
See you again.
And then, obviously,
the one-time guardian of the gates of hell restrains his viciousness for the princess.
Why, thank you, Cerberus. I like that. I don't know if that was a coincidence, but the music hit a climax right as we were petting Cerberus. Because everyone knows that's actually how you win the run. It's just by petting Cerberus. Everything else is insignificant. We've already seen you. Have we not?
About to clear the way, so why don't you pitch in?
Wait, we saw her in some weird way earlier in the run. I already forget what it was, though.
Been waiting for this.
Have you now? Try again. Oh, I think I found where all the enemies are. Okay, you can have the big enemy. Oh, you didn't even kill this guy. What the heck? Okay, but if you do kill stealer, I'm not going to be pleased with you. Oh, silly rat man. Don't do that. Oh, also, I should probably do this. I don't know who I summoned most recently, or who I killed most recently. Who's left? You are. Okay, we clobbered her.
That settles it. Really not my night.
No!
See you soon.
No! I thought I beat her to it. I was pressing the button. Oh, darn it.
Chambers left.
There's a mini-boss and it was Demeter, which would have been really nice to have gotten. I mean, I didn't want Nemesis to show up in the first place. We didn't need the gold. There was little to no benefit from her showing up here, as is often the case, to be honest. But that's Nemesis for you. Everybody's favorite character. I knew that he was standing on that, and then I kind of thought about trying to trigger it on him, and then it didn't execute it the way that I thought it might be useful to do. Or in practice, it was a little trickier than I given it credit for. Oh, I should be able to find pretty easily frozen one, I think. Pretty sure it's one of the little skull guys. They're actually not that bad when you summon them. Because again, melee enemies actually among the better options. Though I must admit, as I was saying in that mini-boss fight in the previous floor, sometimes it's hard to differentiate between which one of these are the allies you summon and which ones are the other enemies of the same variety. A zillion of these guys in it? Yep. Sure is. Does mean that the freeze is especially helpful for that reason.
I wish they were never born.
Ooh, don't want to stand there. Oh, that's our guy that I just tried to freeze. Case in point. I saw that a split second too late. Do that. Okay.
We did it, Frenos.
Definitely don't have the fear for that. That's okay. But yeah, we might have been blocked from potentially every single optional room outside of the Hades encounter because of Nemesis preventing us from going in the previous area. Hopefully it doesn't come down to that. But sometimes you skip one optional room, and that is the key, the gateway to getting all the others. Not that we necessarily need it, but it would have been nice, as that has generally been something we are making a point of doing in our more recent runs. I mean, there's a time when we did not have much confidence in our ability on this floor, and so we deliberately tried to get through it as quickly as possible and get to Kronos with as few enemies in the way as possible. But now we're doing things like deliberately going into mini-boss fight encounters, and this time maybe we'll get that previous duo or legendary Aphrodite boon that I was mentioning that did not end up happening on that occasion, but this time it will. Okay, it's the Rat Man. The Super Rat Man. Coming and I did dodge out of the way, but I did not dodge far enough. Like a silly. It's got a little bit of damage that we took there, but then again, I think we have enough healing that we, because of the Chaos boon that we got a while back, we will still heal it off in its entirety. Okay, we can get the special, which we still don't have, but I still don't really have much reason to break it out. I mean, it is a huge damage multiplier, and it does magnetize enemies to us, which may or may not be helpful. Weak effects are more potent. Again, this is coming from our dash, so that is going to be active most of the time. Deal a minuscule amount of extra damage when we have a lot of life. It is active right now. Well, it's always 7%. It gets doubled to 14% if we have 80% life or more, but that's still just hard to get excited about, as I always say with that one. I mean, just compare it to this, for example, and it's like twice as much, and it's always active. Or it's always fully active, whereas this is either, at best, about half as good. Yes, this gets stronger over time, depending on how many other boons you have, but still. I think probably will take you.
Greater might.
And I would still like to, go to more optional rooms if possible, so I'm glad we aren't forced into the super shop now, and it means more time to get gold, which, despite us going into this floor with a lot of gold already, this is not the most gold we've ever seen on this floor, far from it. Okay, hold on. Did we destroy that enemy, or did they teleport out of our circle while they were frozen? I know you have a oh, right, your armor. Are not going to get stuck. You should know that much. But yeah, they can teleport while they are frozen. That's kind of busted. That feels like there is no world in which that should be a thing that is allowed. Why are they able to? I mean, I get. Oh, just got by that as well. I guess technically, even the non-boss enemies can move extremely slowly while they are frozen. They still aren't completely stagnant. And so if you have a teleport ability, it's obviously slower to initiate than it would usually be if you are frozen. There's just no way to approach these enemies. As I say every time, against the mic, you never get the timing right. Yeah, if your move is instantaneous, it's a teleport, it may take longer in between your teleports when you're frozen, but I guess technically you can still do it. Still feels kind of silly though. Okay, this is definitely our priority here. We can get the magic restoration improved. I haven't really noticed if it's enough to give us all the magic back as quickly as we'd like it to get back. But yes, this is an important boon as well, but again, it's not really here for the damage, it's here for the utility. Whereas this is here for damage, so that does benefit a lot from the levels. Okay, so either Super Shop or, well, only Super Shop. Yeah, so I think, obviously we had one optional room that got closed off because Nemesis beat us in through the door. And that may have led to at least one more optional room that we otherwise did not get access to, because this still feels a little bit short, even beyond that one optional room that we missed. But here we go. To the super shop, and oh, goodness, this is an atrocious super shop. We can absolutely afford everything, and then some. And okay, well, technically, yes, we can buy this. It doesn't give us much of it. It functionally gives us no value, because we are going to heal that off as soon as we walk through there. But, yeah, we could buy it for the sake of charging up for another Charon card as quickly as possible. We'll take this, because we can. Well, there is a Charon card. Do the double palm on the attack. Yup. That works. We have gotten pretty lucky in seeing this attack boon as an upgrade option on basically all the palms we've seen since picking this up. So it's gotten up actually a little beyond where it would have been in a jeweled palm run, at least at the beginning of a jeweled palm run. Or maybe this is around where it would end on jeweled palm run.
This should help.
Potentially go a little bit higher still, though. Freeze duration, adding an extra second to that is pretty nice, so I think I am gonna take that. Then do this, which might actually double dip Charon cards. It does. It's 1,000 gold spent in this shop, plus it directly gives us a Charon card. And then this, as I said, doesn't really do anything for us because we're gonna heal this off anyway, but it does get us slightly closer to the next Charon card, so we might as well. He wouldn't say no. Well, he doesn't say much, to be honest. Charon is a man of few words. You're welcome?
You really should try it sometime, my lord. Nectar is one of the things just about everybody on Olympus can agree on, and that must mean something, right?
Okay. Doubt we can gift to you again. This is usually the situation in which we see Kronos nowadays, and even then, only for a brief amount of time. So, very often in the past, we saw in the post-original True Ending that we just weren't even able to gift to him in these situations. So glad we did manage to do that earlier.
All right, my girl, this shall unfold exactly as before. You leap into the river, I ensure you end up in the proper stream.
That's supposed to be a water pun? Okay, I don't think there's anything else over here. So in we go.
See you later.
In what is a standard Kronos fight. No fear of any variety on this one.
Wow, it worked.
What have you done? You have seen that I do not stay gone. Fight me to your heart's content. No matter the outcome, it is you who ends up banished from this place. Or are you here merely to rummage through your family's old, unneeded things?
I have no need of anything of theirs, only your head.
Ouch.
That you cannot have, my girl, for I shall be requiring it to rule the realms with wisdom such as my unruly children never had. And you apparently have even less.
We'll see about that. I mean, not that fighting you proves that we are wiser than you, but on this occasion, maybe it does. That was actually really confusing with how slow he was. I could not tell what direction he was trying to attack in. I'm gonna try to get rid of his friends here first, to be honest. Now we can focus. Like that. It's just so slow. It's very off-putting. What legions? Okay, admittedly, sure, you do have a few more legions. I did walk straight into that. No, that's not actually what I was trying to do. Well, that was kind of funny how small his area of effect was there. Oh, yeah, I suppose I did stand in that too. That too? We have a bazillion resistances, though. Some from Arcana, and then all the ones from... Oh. From the... Hermes. Who have we got? It's not a great place to say it. This is not gonna lie. Phase, yep. And here... Not a great time to attack this guy. Woo, oh, I was not going to get hit by that, and then I dashed into it, which is technically the way that that skill is kind of supposed to work. And then you are doing the triple combos now, which I did not remember at first. Oh, I should have. Oh, we can summon the rat men as well. What's the timing we want to do with that? Strange that one. I think we want to do it just after the... Oh, man. Just after his clock phase. At the beginning of the year. Because obviously otherwise the Ratman's going to go down immediately. Does this make it last longer? Okay, I'm not sure I want to test that theory. I think it did go slightly slower. Ratman probably does get frozen in this. Now, so. Get him, Ratman. Oops.
Legions of the Golden Age.
No. Okay, I was not sure if I was in that. Ratman survived. What? Ratman is the tankiest of all characters? Question mark. Also, please stop healing. Please stop doing that, too. Get him, Ratman. Yeah, enough of that.
How is it that I cannot vanquish such a brat?
Excuse me? You take that back. How dare you speak ill of Ratman like that?
May time flow freely forth.
Though, to be honest, obviously the evil Ratmen, we hate them. But this Ratman was different.
Time flows freely forth.
All right. She said the line. She said the thing.
Zodiac sand.
Okay, and now, as we saw last time, I think as soon as we walk through this door, we're going to immediately teleport back to the crossroads. We are not going to have any visit to Zagreus or the rest of our family. I mean, we did see, obviously, our mother and our father already.
So incomparable is the tale of the princess of the underworld that why I cannot even find the words. Though by the gods, eventually, I shall.
Return to Shadow now.
I feel like that line is left over from early access when they had to sort of give an excuse.
We did it, Frenos.
For why the game was ending there before you got any sort of conclusion at the end of the run to transition back into the crossroads. And it doesn't really make as much sense now. He's basically saying, well, I don't have anything to say at the moment, so I guess we're just going back now. Or I don't have anything to say yet. So I guess we're just gonna go back and reset for the next run. Which the implication is, or at least was, the reason why I don't have anything to say at the moment is because this is still early access and we have not yet written enough lines for this character, or more like, we have not yet figured out what the next component of the game is going to be at the end of each run, and so this is the little placeholder fill-in line that will eventually be removed from the game. Except, you didn't remove it from the game. It's reappearing here, which, yeah, I feel like you probably should have gotten rid of it.
You knew I could do it, didn't you, Frenos?
don't think it makes any sense anymore. Something about this being the nightmarish Freenos here. He looks a lot less innocent. A lot less of the cute little frog who doesn't have a thought in his brain. He's just vibing over here. And more the demon that haunts us at night kind of vibe.
How can this be?
Except you don't actually have anything to speak with us about. But we did finish at least one relatively minor prophecy.
Let me see.
Actually, two. One from getting all of the negative chaos upgrade, well, curses. Upgrade is not really the right word.
Chaos is the source of life and all its hardships.
Yeah, all chaos is hardships. And then this one, was the last of the Narcissus upgrades. We had not gotten any, or that was the last one we had left. Okay.
Despite the vanity of this Narcissus, he shall be generous.
Okay, so that's two more prophecies checked off. It gave us some bones, not that we have a particular need for those, but alright. Now this remains the big thing that unfortunately, at this rate, I don't really think we're gonna have time for. But yeah, we think our emissary is Moros here, she who trained you, Hecate, he who rebels against the gods. That's the one I'm least confident in, but I think that might be Heracles. Then we might be able to rouse Hypnos right now. That's potentially on our to-do list, and then this other stuff, mostly, once again, doing things on runs that we have not yet done, and rewards that I don't really think are all that critical. But we would like to gift to you, on the off chance that this will progress, that component of the key fate prophecy.
This nectar of the gods, it's such a luxury. With my sisters, I led a relatively simple life. Now to find myself in such a place, much less with you, no prophecy could have prepared me.
I feel like last time we gifted to Moros, it kind of felt like he was hitting on us. And this phrasing also kind of sort of makes it feel like he's hitting on us.
You seem to truly like it here. I think we have our needs fulfilled, though I've not often heard anything in the Crossroads described as luxurious. Are things so different where you're from?
Well, it was an excellent place to be a weaver, but there is not a lot of other recreational activity or other company. I fear I may become quite self-indulgent with all this.
I don't think you're at any risk of that just yet.
Alright, but as for our normal conversation with him...
Another victory within the depths of Tartarus. Except now, your fight requires you to transcend space and time, with assistance from your grandfather, of course. True?
Indeed.
True, as far as I can understand, Lord Moros. Headmistress notified you of these new details, then. You don't sound terribly surprised.
I assure you that my inability to sound terribly surprised does not prevent my feeling so. You have many such battles left to fight?
Yeah, technically an infinite number of them.
Whenever time permits.
Then to your many victories to come.
Thank you, Moros. Oh, no Eris. Alright. Could she be the one who rebels against the gods? I don't know if I ever really thought of that before. No, it's he who rebels against the gods. Okay. So yeah, I think Heracles still... Oh! Wait a second. He's hanging out over here, and he has the exclamation point above his head. Now maybe this is unwarranted to be optimistic about this, but would it possibly mean that we finally had the breakthrough we need? No! That's not the same description as we saw before, which may or may not be a good thing. Well, we can't gift to him.
Fair warning, I'm a proper wretch right now, Goddess. Used to think I lived a complete life, but all your journey has made me realize that there was much I left unsaid. Too much.
Maybe this is the breakthrough we needed, though, and then after this, we could gift to him one more time.
What? How do my journeys factor into that? and cease your wretchedness at once, or tell me how to make it stop.
You've met Skiller and the Sirens, the Cyclops, Polyphemus, the Enchantress Circe. One way or another, they each left an indelible mark on me. To say nothing of my wife and son, wherever they are. I think I need to go.
Okay, this does seem like the breakthrough we were waiting so long for.
Go where? Odysseus, you can't leave now. We need you here. There must be something we can do.
Well, probably there is, but I wouldn't wish to overburden you. You already take on far too much.
Tell me more.
Perhaps some other time.
Okay. Alright. So that makes me wonder if now, maybe encountering all those people who we just mentioned at least one more time, and then circling back with Odysseus, or maybe just circling back with Odysseus one more time, would allow us to finally progress that relationship. Because he does have a side quest of some variety, and I don't know if it's just a matter of gifting enough stuff to him, and there's just one barrier in particular that takes a really long time to break through. But he has an achievement for maxing, I think, for doing his side quest slash maxing out his relationship. Just trying to think of Dora is the only other person who we've done that with thus far. And for her, were there any other steps we had to take beyond just passing time with her? And maybe a couple of things to at least break through these locks, these barriers, so that we had the option to continue to do that? Because she had a side, or her story at least, was somewhat intertwined with that of Prometheus. So I know he had some smack talk at least, which was probably necessary to hear before we could talk more with Dora, but that was long enough ago now that I don't remember exactly how that played out. Okay, so we can't get this yet. And did we get any fish? We did not. Wow. Well, we have a lot of bones. So if we wanted to, we could get more Nightmare. I mean, we did spend a bunch to get the new form for Phrynos. So, not that we really need it, but sure, we'll do it. I mean, especially now that we have truly upgraded the last of our Arcana cards, we really don't really need the Moon Dust or Fate Fabric, any of this stuff. I mean, maybe for some of the optional cosmetic-related things, but beyond that, not really.
I'll
pick up some of this stuff because we can. We otherwise don't have much of a use or need for the bones. We did hear a little bit more about your previous fight against Kronos. And we don't have as much, despite having just purchased a nectar. Not quite as much as I would like here. So, in case we do end up doing another run and need to gift to some of those other people, progress the relationships with the likes of Moros, Hecate, and maybe Heracles, let's make sure we have the nectar for that.
You really did eliminate one of the Kronos remnants. Grandfather confirmed. That's amazing, Nemesis. So then if I focus my efforts on the Typhon remnants on Olympus...
Could we actually team up? You take one route, we take the other?
I can deal with the Kronos remnants in the underworld. Was planning on keeping that up no matter what. Hecate even gave me the all clear.
Did she now?
Just unbelievable. Though I still do reserve the right to deal with Kronos remnants on my own. If nothing else, that route gives me an opportunity to see my family.
Knock yourself out. I get the impression there are more than enough of those potential Kronos remnants out there for the both of us.
Yeah, I mean, since there are basically an infinite number of them.
Well, let's go get them.
Although, a couple of interesting things that are happening here. And I just talked over a little bit of that. But, after the conversation was kind of sort of already over, they both basically just agreed to work together, to be teammates, which is probably the nicest is too simple of a word to use, but it represents some character development, some personal development from Nemesis, because at the very beginning, there's no world in which she would ever admit that Malinui could be just as effective as she is at defeating Kronos. Even after we defeated Kronos a bunch of different times, Nemesis was always thinking, oh, I could always do better, and Hecate just isn't giving me the opportunity to do what you do, and if I could, then we wouldn't even need you at all, was basically the gist of everything that Nemesis had said to us for the entire playthrough, up until very recently. So, I am starting to see the reason why Supergiant made Nemesis succeed in at least one of those attempts at defeating Kronos. I still think, ideally, you just accelerate that, or you accelerate her getting to Kronos so that she fails the first time, and then the second time she succeeds. So that way it just feels a little more believable, doesn't detract as much from Malinui's exploits and successes, while at the same time, eventually, you do still get Nemesis defeating Kronos at least once by the time you get to the true ending, and that way you can get here, after the true ending, where Nemesis, by saying, hey, I can defeat Kronos, and the player, now having reason to actually believe that that is true, is a way to sort of wrap things up and tie a bow on some stuff, get some closure, because the player could stop playing Hades altogether, and that means even if the Hades 2 universe continued on in the player's absence, then don't worry about it. Malinui can sort of retire, and Nemesis will take up those responsibilities for Malinui, at least in the underworld. Don't think anyone's volunteering to go up to the surface and fight Typhon for us, at least not yet. Okay, I probably would like to do this because we do think that progressing our relationship with Hecate is a requirement for that Fate's prophecy. But we have at times seen if we gift now, we miss out on this opportunity to have a normal conversation with her. So I'm going to try to do the normal talk and then gift. Hopefully we still have the chance to gift afterward. Sometimes that opportunity is lost as well.
Lest you be tempted otherwise, do keep the details of what transpired at the House of Hades closely guarded.
Oh, you say that now?
Such as what you now recall. Rumors of your command over dreams and time may spread, but not the truth.
Oh? What exactly are you getting at here? Because we definitely have talked about this with several people already.
Because we achieved what should not have been possible. But all these memories I've gained, perhaps I can tell you more about them sometime at least, and others with whom I'm close.
Okay, this whole nonsense.
Perhaps, eventually. Though for now, discretion's the priority by will of Night herself. You are saved some complicated explanations in so doing as well.
Yeah, explanations like, hey, we collectively had a dream about something that never actually happened, but we pretended as if it did, and in fact, a bunch of people who weren't even there to experience that firsthand acted as if they had also experienced it, but it didn't happen, despite all those conversations. So I'm thinking of the likes of Achilles, who said, like, oh, it was nice to talk to you again, to catch up. It's like, no, we actually have never spoken to you ever before in our life. We only sort of knew of you from a dream we had once. So definitely some major plot holes there, as we were talking about before.
That's certainly true.
Okay, but we can still gift, so that's big. I'm just curious. I doubt there's anything else here. Yeah. Okay. Let's head over to the taverna.
Why don't we head to the taverna once again? You honored me before, and I would dearly like to honor you.
Then consider me honored. I've no desire to be worshipped thus. The Shades can leave their offerings for the hounds.
Headmistress, you're the reason all of us are here. The Shades adore you, and wish to commemorate that this great task you devised is finally complete.
We achieved what needed to be done, and we commemorated it last we attended the taverna. Now, hand over that ambrosia, and I'll keep it for the next occasion.
Hmm?
It's yours.
That's weird. She's like, I'm just gonna take that. But also, we're not actually gonna spend time. Also, just looking at the various ways in which we do spend time with Hecate. Look, I don't know how to say this, but Hecate, you might have a bit of a drinking problem. 4 trips to the taverna? 4 rounds of ambrosia in a row? That's a little crazy, if you don't mind my saying.
Come along.
Okay, do all those, and then we'll plant these. And we did progress some relationships, which is nice and all. However, I think the big thing may still be attempting to awaken Hypnos for good. Which, it's been a little while since our last attempt at doing this, but remember, it's taken us several attempts already. We are basically going Inception mode and going to a dream within a dream within a dream and trying, but not succeeding, at awakening Hypnos. And there was some, I think last time, talk about maybe there was a key with his brother, Thanatos, who was a character in Hades 1, but has not really made an appearance in Hades 2 other than maybe in, again, that dream in the new true ending that didn't actually happen. So, not sure how exactly that's going to play out, but let's see. Oh, actually, let's try just doing normal talk. I don't think this is going to do much, but... Okay, he's just snoozing. Nothing out of the ordinary there. But perhaps we can sort this out by giving you... Honestly, I've lost track. It's at least the 3rd, maybe the 4th Dream Vapors?
You know how it goes, Lord Hypnos. And you'd better comply because, I'll admit, I'm growing just a bit impatient here. Now breathe deep.
It's taken a lot of tries.
Still dreaming of this place, of course.
Okay, so this, I assume, is the House of Hades. Yup. Looks like it did on at least some of these prior trips. Still cool, walking into all these cardboard cutouts, basically. So that's Thanatos, or at least a cardboard cutout to represent Thanatos, his brother, who is death. Sort of like the equivalent of the Greek Grim Reaper. And then the Hades one in the background. I remember this before, but it is fantastic. Alright, and we give him the vapors in, I don't know, in person, I guess, whereas this is now in a dream, and we're about to do it again.
It is past time for you to wake.
So technically, I remember saying this last time, it's a little strange how we are giving it to him multiple times in one round, in multiple different ways, but alright. Somehow the dream vapors did not disappear. They did not go fully used.
I must see deeper into your psyche once again, my lord. So forgive the intrusion, and here we go. I suppose I can see why he may wish to remain here.
We saw this, I think this was the previous time where we ended here with the Lullaby Hades theme. Didn't notice the fire. But are we about to go one level deeper?
At least he seems to be quite comfortable.
Oh? And right, we his picture up there, his shining picture.
You're safe here. You are very stubborn, my lord.
This time.
All right, Lord Hypnos, one more time. You're still hiding something from me and from yourself. You must be awake somewhere in your consciousness, so let's go find you there. Breathe deep once more.
So where do we go? Oh dear. Go here.
No, he's...
Are we breaking the fourth wall right now?
There's nothing here.
I feel like we're breaking the fourth wall, and this is... Or at first I thought this was a page, and that the little scribbles were the writers jotting down notes for what happens in the plot next, or, you know, code for how the game is getting made, which may be the idea, but we do still see a Hypnos of some variety here. He is still asleep.
You look comfortable.
We notably do not have the ability to gift anymore, which seems to suggest that this is the final stage, at least for this go-round. Hopefully this is the last round, though. There's a bunch of skulls, which is, you know, an interesting interior decoration choice. It's a little ominous. I mean, he is also sleep incarnate, so even if we are to awaken or free him from whatever sort of curse this is, it's not as if he is never going to sleep again. He's still going to be sleeping a whole lot. So don't be alarmed by him sleeping right now, I guess.
Blast it, Lord Hypnos. What is this going to take? Though, what is this? Some sort of note. It says, in childlike scrawl, it says, "Have you tried saying wake up?" Wait, what?
We did just say those words.
Beyond. Lord Hypnos, wake up! Wake up!
Now I'm curious. If we go back to previous conversations with Hypnos, every previous conversation with Hypnos, whether it be here in person or in any of his dreams, have we really never said the phrase wake up? I feel like we had to have said it, at least in passing, even if it was not necessarily a command directed straight at him. If not, though, then very clever to make it just sort of a very basic, underwhelming, like, well, duh, we should have done that. Feels silly for not having done it earlier.
Welcome to the House of Hades. Wait. Where am I? What is this? Who are you?
And do we know how long he has been asleep for? Obviously an extremely long time, but is it kind of like what happened with Persephone, where he doesn't even know who we are, or he only knew us as a tiny little child?
Lord Hypnos, you're here. These are the crossroads between realms. I'm Melinoi, the daughter of Lord Hades and Persephone the Queen. Welcome.
Wait, what do you mean you're Master's daughter? You're huge. I mean, you grew up fast. I mean, you were just born. Unless I,
Yep, sounds very similar to what happened with Persephone when she got frozen by Kronos.
You've been in a deep slumber for quite some time, my lord. Ever since the Titan Kronos took my father's house, as I understand. We've been busy with that matter since.
Oh no! Oh no, Phil. Where'd all this nectar come from? Oh, I'll never be the featured house servant again, oh no!
Wait, Lord Hypnos, calm yourself, please. Everything's all right, especially now that you're back with us. The house is well again. Or getting there.
No, you don't understand. I am so late for work. I have to go. Thanks for the wake-up call. If you see Zagreus, tell him I'll be right there. I love you, so long!
What in blazes happened? That's it? That's really it.
Alright. Well, Soundest of Sleepers, Hypnos' side quest is now done. It was a pretty brief conversation, and he had to go.
Ready to come out?
Now, what I'm wondering, though, is if we're gonna have any sort of follow-up with Hypnos later on, in which we see him maybe in that room with Hades and Persephone, having a conversation with them. Because in Hades 1, basically Hypnos' role is he's, well, the House of Hades, the place where we finished either of the true endings, where we have a conversation with a whole bunch of people, that is the place where you start all of your runs from, in the same way that the Crossroads does that in Hades 2. So in Hades 1, Hypnos is basically the first person you see there who greets you every time you enter, and that means every time you come back from a run. Almost like the role that either Phrynos or Dora has in Hades 2, although obviously Phrynos is a little more limited in how he can respond to us, and then Dora does also have a different role based on the whole decoration-y stuff, but that's what Hypnos does, is he sort of greets you and does some administrative work at the House of Hades, so he needs to go over there to do his work because he's years late, even if he was usually sleeping on the job in Hades 1, so it may not be the biggest of deals, but what I am curious about is, I mean, since we didn't get many answers, it was kind of underwhelming from Hypnos just then, surely that means we're going to encounter him somewhere else and get a little more explanation, a little more conversation with him, or is he truly just gone for good? If we do see him again, yes, I think he could be in that room with Hades and Persephone, since those are technically his bosses. Or maybe this is asking too much, but could it be that, yes, it is actually possible after successful underworld runs to go through that door, and rather than immediately getting teleported back to the Crossroads, as we did on this run, we actually do make a quick pit stop in the House of the Hades proper, talk to some people, including Hypnos there, like we did in the true ending and only the true ending. Sort of like, what happens in earlier surface runs when you get to the palace, where you speak to a bunch of gods and goddesses there. Because it just felt odd that you had a lot of that happening on surface runs, and, well, at least once your conversations with Zagreus were done in the underworld, then that didn't happen anymore. So, or at least it feels like, there's more room there.
Drink of the earth.
To reflect more with those people who we don't see very much, or meet some of those people who are characters in Hades 1, but you really don't see at all in Hades 2, the one exception maybe being that dream-like vision. Oh, actually, hold on. We did just check off at least one... Is it just an achievement, or was it a prophecy as well? It was a prophecy. So we have roused Hypnos from his slumber. The daughter of the god of the dead shall some evening stir our slumbering brother from his indefinite rest, drawing on the aid of an experienced sorceress, and that was Medea, a while back.
Well, thank the fates.
My brother's sleep was bound to wake eventually.
Turns out the solution was quite simple. Okay. So yes, obviously there are still a few prophecies remaining. This being the big one, the other ones at this point I don't really care all that much about. They give us resources that we don't really need, and they're based on things that are not that important. Anything else here?
I, for one, was certain she'd prevail.
Skelly, nothing special to talk to you about. So I think that, as I was saying, I don't know definitively if I'm going to have enough time to squeeze in one more run for Hades 2, but we got many of the things done today that we had been building up toward. Awakening Hypnos being a big one of those. Maxing out all the Arcana cards. I mean, we should have done that a while ago, because we definitely could have. I just didn't realize that we hadn't. And probably one or two other things as well. But basically, the big picture is that we've done just about all of the big things that we've been trying to do in Hades 2, so if this is to be the end of our Hades 2 playthrough, then I feel good about wrapping things up at this stage. Maybe one more run, we could get a little bit more of those things done, although it still seems as though if the one big remaining target is the Fates-based prophecy, then that's probably still more than one run away. So if this is to be our final Hades 2 video, then thank you all for joining me on this journey, and it was a long one at that. This actually has become not our longest running series, but it's up there. So thank you for checking out. I mean, if you didn't see it, we were playing Hades 2 way back at the beginning of early access, and that was the case for over a year, I think, and then obviously the original true ending, then the new true ending, so lots of twists and turns, and it was a bit of a roller roller coaster ride because there were definitely some bumps along the way in early access, but then we saw things get improved over time, and by the full release, did really like Hades 2, the one key exception for the most part being the build-up and true ending. And then, as we were talking about recently, yeah, they attempted to fix that, and if anything, may have just made it worse. So unfortunately, that does detract a fair bit from the Hades 2 experience, but if you can look past that, it's hard to excuse something as big as botching the ending, but overall, still a good game. Maybe not quite the excellent game that it looked as though it was in line to become, but nonetheless, a fun time playing it, and I hope you had fun joining me on this run. If you are interested in checking out other things that we've done, we have played every other Supergiant game, even the one that nobody played, Pyre. Bastion being the first one, then Transistor, which is actually my favorite of all the Supergiant games, their second one. So if you have not checked either of those out, then highly recommend that stuff. Then it was Pyre, which is their most unusual one, the most different from all the others. All the other ones are kind of similar to Hades, and at least they are action RPGs. They're not roguelites outside of Hades, so it's not strictly the same genre, but there's a lot of overlap. Then Pyre, which is a sports, visual, novel, fantasy RPG. So it's a strange combination, but it is interesting and very unique in that way. We did the campaign for that, and we also continue to do a whole bunch of multiplayer for that as well. The only Supergiant game that has multiplayer, so that is cool if you're interested in checking that stuff out. Then obviously Hades 1 predating Hades 2. That's the most similar, as you might imagine, and we've drawn a lot of comparisons between Hades 1 and Hades 2. So if you haven't seen Hades 1, then you can check that out as well. And as I said, all the other Hades 2 stuff we had building up to this moment. In addition to that, we've done a whole bunch of Mass Effect related stuff. That is one of my favorite games. So we did campaign stuff for that in the recent, or somewhat recent, Legendary Edition, Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. So love that stuff. That's at the top of my list of favorite games. And we do Mass Effect 3 multiplayer as well. That's a whole different thing, and that is a lot of fun as well. And then other than that, Mardek is the other game that we've done that is also my favorite game ever. That one is more niche, an indie game, but hey, I mean, obviously Hades is an indie game as well, so if you're interested in checking out a story-driven RPG game that doesn't take itself too seriously, then I highly recommend Marduk as well, in addition to a whole bunch of other stuff we've done. Witcher-related stuff, Gwent-related stuff, so if you would like to see more things that we have done on this channel, oh, and more recently, Path of Exile 2, some build guides for that stuff as well, that being an MMORPG. But with that being said, do need to wrap things up here. I don't know, this may end up being our last Hades 2 video overall. There's a chance I can squeeze in one more, but it's kind of just a matter of logistics. I'm running out of time to record all these, so if this is to be the last one, then as I said, thank you all for joining me on this journey, and I'll catch you in the next one, whether that be in Hades 2 or something else.